them really dive into the portal. It's been fun to see just, they change staff and instantly the recruiting changes. They're going after big time guys. They're spending money. They're doing things that they need to do to be successful. And I think part of that is, change the staff, but there's also, there's a lot of talk as to, if Coach Gundy, if he doesn't do any better, then, he may not be there much longer, and I don't think that he wants, I think he wants to be at Oklahoma State. I don't think he ever wants to leave Oklahoma State until he's ready to say, I'm done. I don't think that he's in a situation where he's like, I might look for another job. No, I think he's Oklahoma State through and through.
Yeah, I like to go to the farm. I like to do all the stuff that he likes to do. But I think if it was like every single day and it was just like, it's fun because you're like doing it on your free time and it's kind of something special to do. It's another if like you're retired and then you do it every single day. And then, so, I just, you think that you want to retire until you do, and then you run out of things to do and that kind of deal. So, there's no doubt about it. I think there's a new fire. Here's one thing about Mike Gundy that I know very, very well. I have no idea how this year is going to go. He's a guy that gets bored. I'm just telling you. He's an interesting dichotomy, if you will, because he loves structure. He kind of has a baseball brain in the sense that he loves to do things the exact same way every single day. He hates it when things change. But then at the same time, he has a brain that is so competitive and likes new challenges that he gets bored with all that everyday routine. So he kind of fights with himself. You see that every single year to where he doesn't like to change, but then he gets bored when things don't change.
Right.
So I say all that to say he was forced to change. And every single time he's been forced to change, he has embraced the new challenges. I think he's embraced this new challenge. And one thing Mike Gundy is, he's an extreme competitor. And I think you hit the nail on the head. He is not going to go out of Oklahoma State in this particular position with his head between his legs. He's never done that in anything ever in his life. He's not going to start now.
No, he's definitely not, and you can tell just by, like I said, by the changes that have been made. I think that all the stuff that came out, a little while ago, I don't think much of it. To be honest with you, I think it's bull crap. Just with Regents getting involved in all that stuff, he had one bad year, man. Was it bad? Yeah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It was bad. And there were high expectations going into the season, but you cannot just, wad up and throw away what he's done over the past 20 years.
Not if you ever want to get another coach to coach at Oklahoma State.
Exactly.
The fastest way to attract no good coach to Oklahoma State is for the Regents to get involved, is for people outside the athletic department to have an opinion on things, and then to fire a coach every time they fire off a subpar season. If like it's kind of like the Josh Holiday deal. There's a lot of people that are clamoring about, hey, not winning regional, this and that. Fine, okay. But if you go and fire Mike Gundy after all the success you've had at Oklahoma State football, that's going to just send shockwaves throughout the coaching community. And there's no coach out there on earth. Of course, you'll get somebody because you pay a lot of money, but it will not be an attractive situation to other coaches in a very tight-knit community, which the coaching community is, to where you're like, if they fired his ass, then I ain't going there, because the second that I fire off about a 6-6, they're damn sure going to fire me. So
right.
You are really neutering the type of coach that you could get if you start having that type of transactional approach at OSU.
No, you're 100% right. You can't just go after a guy that has made a name for himself. We'd
be the laughing stock of the United States if we fired Mike Gundy. Seriously.
I don't know if you kept up with Twitter through all that stuff.
I did, but I haven't over the summer. I can tell you that.
I haven't either. But just going through and so and so and so-and-so and Deion Sanders. I'm like, well, come on, are we kidding? Like, are we serious? Because
jokers.
It's a joke. It is a joke.
It's people that are just, first of all, being irrational, and I can't take those people serious.
No, but that's the stuff that was being rattled off,
sure.
and I don't. I don't mean this in a negative way, but Oklahoma State's not really a blue blood of college football right now.
Hell, not even close. They're not a blue blood of the Big 12 right now.
No,
watered down blue. Hell, they finished last.
No, I mean, and you're rattling off names that, the Deion Sanders, for example, was just one of a billion that I saw. Deion's not going to go from Colorado to Oklahoma State.
Why would he? What would it be?
Exactly.
Reason?
No, there wouldn't be one. Now, would he go from a Colorado to a Florida or a Florida State? Sure, absolutely. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's just dumb.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's get into this year's team. Haas Henry, and you have a quarterback battle between Haas Henry and Haas Haney, I should say, and Zane Flores. We wanted to see Zane Flores last year. There was an injury that we knew about quite early on that we could not say anything about with his foot. And so you lost some really good quarterbacks last year. Garrett Rangel really showed what he was capable of in the BYU game. Milwaukee Smith showed what he was capable of down the stretch last year. So here's the problem in the transfer portal era. You lose two really good quarterbacks. You just really hope that you pick the right ones to keep on campus, which is, I said this all everybody was clamoring, hey, put in Milwaukee Smith. We've got the receipts. Just go back to our shows last year. One of the reasons why Mike Gundy did not want to play Milwaukee Smith is because that you're putting video you're putting game action on video for all these other schools to come get Milwaukee Smith whenever you have a quarterback competition for the next year and you can't just hand the position over. That's exactly what happened. So now you're down to Zane Flores and Haas Haney. You better hope that you pick the right one.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I still have high hopes for Zane Flores, and I have high hopes for Haas Henry too. Or Haas Haney. Dang it, you got me saying.
Yeah, I'm going to do that a million times. Yeah.
I think that I haven't been at practice. I hadn't seen anything or heard anything that anybody else hasn't heard. Haas Haney brings a lot of speed. His legs are supposedly impressive, and then you've got Flores, who's more of a threat with his arm. Not to say that he can't run, but not to the extent of Haney. So I truly think the starting quarterback is going to depend on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. That's my guess. If the offensive line is just not very good. I think that Haas Haney is your clear quarterback, and if they can pass pro, then, I think that Zane Flores is your quarterback. It really is dependent on the offensive line, in my opinion.
I'm a little bit different. I think it's depending on Doug Meacham. I think last year, I'm different on the offensive line last year. I think Joe Michalski was good. I think Preston Wilson was good. I think there were times to where they were put in ridiculously bad situations because of bad scheme from Casey Dunn and just not really giving them a chance. I mean, we're like backside nine techs were just running down plays because the quarterback would never pull the ball, that kind of thing. So I think what you're going to get with Doug Meacham, here's the difference between Casey Dunn, my opinion, and Doug Meacham. I think Casey Dunn was okay and sitting down and saying, okay, well, this is the base defense for the other team. These are the type of rotations they have. These are the first adjustments they'll make. I think he was okay putting together a game plan overall and putting together like 2 or 3 different packages that could defeat the base defense of the other team. But then my problem with Casey Dunn was after those first 2 or 3 packages, now that it's coming down to, okay, well, now they're making their first adjustment. What do you have? I didn't think he made very good in-game adjustments. And so as the game went on, it got more stale and more stale. And then, or if the defense came out with something different that week, or just his game plan didn't work from the beginning, he just would not change. I mean, they're like, he couldn't go, okay, well, this is plan A. This isn't working, so let's go to plan B. That's not working. Let's go to plan C. It was plan A or bust.
Yeah.
And if plan A worked, then we were okay. If plan A didn't work, then it was the worst game you've ever seen in your life. What I'm really excited about with Doug Meacham, I really think Doug Meacham wants to I think he is going to be the type of guy that almost to a fault, in baseball, we're baseball guys, Chase, you see these hitters, and it's like they're changing their stance every game. And you're like, dude, just have the same stance, have the same swinger.
Right.
I think Meacham's going to be that guy that's changing his stance. Or he's almost going to want to change things too much because he is so creative, and I think that's going to be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I'm curious to see how it goes. And I'm still just like everybody else. I want to know who your quarterback is, and I do think that.
I think the answer to that is yes. I think both of them. I think
Yeah.
they're going to have a package for both of them. They learned that last year.
I do too. I just hope by the time that they, at the very, very latest, at the time that they get to the start of the Big 12, they have a set in stone. This is who we're rocking with and rolling with.
Or the rotation. Like, I have no problem if they play both quarterbacks if we know the role of both. Like, if we know the packages, like if Haas Haney comes in for short yardage or on the goal line, that type of deal to get the 3rd and 1. If we just squarely defined roles, so both guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, and I think as Zane Flores is your starting quarterback, I think you see a lot more packages with Haas Haney in there, with the threat of his legs. I think if Haas Haney's your starting quarterback, then I don't know how much of Zane Flores you'll see. I don't know. So I think that, like I said, if Flores is your starting quarterback, there's definitely going to be packages that will provide Doug Meacham options.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that was another thing that Oklahoma State lacked last year. There weren't a lot of options offensively.
None.
Bowman was a statue.
Your offensive coordinator left you with no options. I'm just telling you, Casey Dunn did a terrible job. I hate to say that, but he just was too stale.
I don't disagree. I'm in a way maybe giving him the benefit of the doubt is like they didn't have a quarterback. They just didn't. I think Rangel, hindsight's 2020, Rangel should have been the starter.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Or at least after the Utah game, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Bowman's just he was not good. I couldn't stand the guy.
It's taken us, we're in this 5 minutes and Chase is already on Alan Bowman. He's already graduated. Let it go, dude. Let it go.
I can't. It hurt me so much last year that I bottled it up until, August 17th of 2025.
Yeah, you let it rip. That's for sure.
But no, like I said, I think that it's going to be a lot easier for Doug Meacham to call plays this year than it was for them last year.
Yeah. Not
to say that we had the best offensive coordinator in the country, because he was by far not. He was one of the worst. I think we had two of the worst coordinators in the country, to be honest with you.
I like Nardo. I thought he was given zero chance. He wasn't able to bring in his own guys. That Gundy he made him change his def. I mean, Nardo's a good coach. He'll prove that.
There was a lot that worked against him. But
that wasn't his fault. I'll say that.
Yeah, but at the same time, he should have never been hired. If that's
what you're going to do, if you're going to trump him and not let him have any of his own coaches and then make him change to a 40 front, if that's what you're going to do to him, if you're going to neuter him like that, then exactly. Yeah,
well, but you're getting him from a super small school out of the middle of nowhere. So I see both sides. I see where it's like, I don't want you to bring your own guys. I understand that because you don't have that experience, but don't hire the lack of experience for such a big job.
And Gundy corrected course. He did the exact opposite this time around. Yeah, no,
and I think it's paying dividends already just with recruits. You hired a guy that's been in the NFL. You've hired guys that have. This is what I like, from different parts of the country that have different. Yes. Now there's hot spots. There's hot spots all over in terms of recruiting. As opposed to, it was kind of, Oklahoma, Texas. You may have a California guy. You may have a so-and-so guy from Illinois or wherever. Now you got guys from Florida. You got guys from California. You got guys from the Northeast. You got guys everywhere. And I think that hiring a staff like that is really, really going to help, because, like I said, now you have that connection in Florida. You have that connection in, I don't know, Virginia, wherever. I'm just spitballing, but you're not limited on to where you can recruit because of relationships. I think that's going to help too.
The offense, Rodney Fields Jr., I'm excited about him. You have Sese Valahe coming back. He got some time last year. Hopefully he gets a little bit quicker, a little bit better vision. I think you're going to have the option of having a quarterback that can also run the ball. And I'll say this, Gundy corrected course on just about everything. You had an offensive coordinator for the last, however many different years in Charlie Dickey that was set in his ways. He is a gap scheme type of guy. He's going to do this. Even if you want to be a zone team, he's not going to want to coach zone. He's going to still want to coach gap scheme. He's going to want to have road graders. He's going to want to maul like he did at K-State. So you have a guy that's stubborn, set in his ways in Charlie Dickey. You go out and get a Cooper Bassett that's going to be like the most creative guy and just try, hey, whatever you want me to do, coach, just tell me what it is. We'll get it done. A young guy with energy that's not set in his ways. So you went from that to you went from the exact opposite of that on your defensive coordinator and Brian Nardo, who had no experience, to Todd Grantham, who has NFL experience. You went from Casey Dunn, who had he didn't have any coordinator experience, and is a lot of fans thought he was way too stale and probably just a kind of a right wing of Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy basically was the offensive coordinator while Casey Dunn was here. To Doug Meacham, who is going to squarely turn around to Mike Gundy and go, hey, dude, I'm like 55 years old and whatever. Get the hell out of here, man. This is what we're doing. I don't give a shit what you think, right? So, he literally corrected course on every single thing that was wrong with last year. So even if this year isn't very good, I think you still have to give Mike Gundy credit for at least making the adjustments that he had to make.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. And, one thing that I think is I keep going back to the quarterback situation. Haas Haney's been around Doug Meacham. They have a prior relationship. He kind of understands they understand he understands the offense and things like that. I think that those were two good hires. I love it. I think that they were two good hires, and you're not going to pull a Zach Robinson or anything like that. You're not going to. But at the same time, I think that hiring these two guys you're going to see a change. You've already seen a change. I keep talking about the recruiting, but recruiting it's a lifeline. It has to be your bloodline. It has to be what you do. Especially now because it's not the same. College football is not the same. College athletics are not the same that they were 5 years ago, to where it's Get the guy, develop him, let him play as a junior. Absolutely not. That's just not it.
No, let Rhode Island develop that guy, then you go get him as a junior.
Exactly.
Like we've seen with the Cowboy backs.
Yeah, exactly.
Josiah Johnson and guys like that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to see less and less freshmen, in my opinion, contributing at a Power 4 level than you did a couple of years ago, and it's only going to get worse. It really is, and I feel for the high school kids in terms of the recruiting aspect of things, but at the same time, it's adjust. You've got to adjust. You've got to be willing to adjust and adapt and overcome and if you don't do those things, you're screwed, but I think you see the effort of Mike Gundy adapting. You see the effort of trying different things. You see the effort of giving out NIL money. You see all those different things. It makes me excited. I'm not saying that it's going to be a reverse record of what we had this year what we had last year by any means. But if they rattle off 7 or 8 games, win 7 or 8 games, I'll be happy. I won't be ecstatic.
I don't think OSU fans would be happy with 7 wins.
I'm not going to be ecstatic, but I'll be happy. You can't expect to go
use
from
the term happy for 7 wins. Okay.
I don't know what to expect, and you have 60 some odd new players and your roster limit's 105. So that means you're looking at about 60% of your roster, if not a little over, is brand new. Now
but whose fault is that?
I don't honestly, I don't know. I don't know, and the reason I say that is because there had to be changes. There had to be a culture change. There had to be coaching changes. There had to be getting rid of bad apples. And
whose fault is that?
Mike Gundy.
The
recruiting.
We're in this mess. We're a great program because of Mike Gundy, but we're also in this mess, which is a big mess. This is a big point in the history of Oklahoma State football, bigger than most people think. We're in that big of a junction because of Mike Gundy. We're on both sides of it because of Mike Gundy.
What win total would make you happy?
9. Anything less, and we're just another team. No big deal. We're not relevant. I mean, at 7-8 wins in the Big 12, Oklahoma State's one of the least relevant football schools. I'm ready for basketball. They need to win. If they don't win minimum of 9, they really need to win 10 games to be relevant whatsoever. Otherwise, we're just in the pack of the average schools out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now to see, UT Martin's a win. Should be. Oregon's probably a loss. Tulsa's a win. Baylor is, I don't know.
Is it at home?
Yeah, but Baylor's supposed to be really good this year. Arizona's probably a win. Houston is probably a win. Cincinnati is probably a win.
Woo.
Tech is probably a loss. Kansas is probably a loss.
There's 9 right there.
K-State's probably a loss.
There's 8.
Central Florida, it's at Orlando. I don't know how I feel about that. Iowa State is a toss-up.
Is it at home?
Yes.
Yeah. I would set the over-under for OSU wins at about 7.5.
It's at 6, I believe.
Yeah. I'd take the over on that. They're going to win more than that.
I hope so.
Mike Gundy will not have a bad year. I mean, so when I say bad year, I mean like last year. He's not going to have a losing year this year. He's going to win more than 6 games. If Oklahoma State lost 6 games or more, this would literally be the first time in the history of Mike Gundy that he wasn't able to fix a problem, at least somewhat, moving forward. I would be shocked if Mike Gundy doesn't get at least to 8 wins this year. I don't know how. I don't even know who the hell the quarterback's going to be. I mean, I know we have Gavin Freeman. I know we have Talon Shetron. I know we have I'm going to call him Dwayne Lofton. I can't. The Lofton kid. We have Rodney Fields Jr. coming back. I know. I don't know any of the
running back coming in too. That's really good.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and then I know Cooper Bassett's going to do fine on the offensive line. I know we have Jaleel Johnson coming back, and basically a lot of probably the most depth on the team in terms of experience coming back in the secondary. So I know there's a lot of pieces there. I would at 7.5. I don't think I'm being a homer. I'm not betting on the Oklahoma State roster. When I say over, I'm betting on Mike Gundy.
It's Caleb Hicks. He's from Oklahoma. He's from OU.
Oh yeah.
If I had to guess, that's going to be their starting running back. And then I had
no, Rodney Fields Jr. is a badass dude.
I don't know. The Caleb
Rodney
Hicks
Fields Jr. is a badass.
No,
dude.
He's good. He's good. I'm not saying he's not good, but I'm saying that Caleb Hicks is really good.
He ain't better than Rodney Fields Jr.
I think Rodney's going to be the number 2. And then I think
at the very least it'll be 1 and 1A.
Yeah, and then I think that you're going to have at the 3, they got I think it's a Georgia Tech transfer running back. I don't know if you're going to see Vailahi.
You're not going with Sessi?
No, I think he's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't think he's very good.
These are college kids, dude.
I just don't. I mean, you want me to be honest? I'm not just going to sit here and blow smoke. I just don't think he's very good. I mean, that's
he was young,
opinion.
Man. I mean,
Rodney Fields was young.
Yeah,
Rodney Fields was really good. If you were to ask me,
who's better, I would say Rodney Fields, but
right.
I wouldn't say Sessi Vailahi was just stunk or anything. I mean,
he was good for like 2 yards a carry.
He was young, man, and the offense. So was Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's not. I don't think he fits the mold.
I don't disagree with that. I'm not going to say that he just stinks like you did. I mean, he's obviously on the Oklahoma State roster and playing Division I football and getting touches early in his career because of some reason that makes him pretty good. Now, if you want to say he's not as good as Rodney Fields Jr. or you think we have better options, I don't have a problem with that.
I think his body and seeing him and things like that, call me crazy, I think he's a slot receiver. You know, that's what comes to mind for me. He's a smaller frame. He's fast. He's not very physical, in my opinion. You know, he's not going to go and run over somebody. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a Brennan Presley or a Gavin Freeman or anything like that, but if you want to incorporate him into the offense, I think that you're going to have to do that at a slot if he can catch the football. That's my opinion.
I am super excited to see Gavin Freeman. I think this dude is going to really – I mean, hey, Brennan Presley, all-time receptions leader in the history of Oklahoma State University. You can't replace guys. You can't like that. But I'll tell you what, Gavin Freeman, he's damn good, man. I'm good. Really – and I think he's going to have a quarterback and an offensive – hey, give Casey Dunn credit. After about the 5th game of the year last year, they used the hell out of Brennan Presley. I still think it's a weird deal. It's kind of like Shohei Ohtani in baseball. He's the best player in baseball. He's going to hit like 50 home runs again. He's going to have an OPS over 900. And as a Dodgers fan, I'm going to be like, yeah, I just don't think he's playing as good as he should. You know, that kind of seemed like Brennan Presley last year, as every week he was setting a record, and he's setting the all-time receptions mark in the history of Oklahoma State. I'm still thinking, damn, we don't get the ball to Presley enough. And I'm like, well, we've got it to him more than any other receiver ever, so maybe I'm the dumbass here. It just kind of – it felt like that. But I'll say this. I do think that Doug Meacham, that's his jam right there. It's figuring out how to get the ball to guys like Gavin Freeman.
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying by any means that Gavin Freeman is going to be as good as Brennan Presley, because Brennan Presley was extremely impressive. But he's the next guy that I'd want up to try to do it. You know, I just he's been around the offense. He's been around Brennan Presley.
If it's 4th and 7 right now, who are you throwing it to? If you're Haas Haney,
or either Chetron or Freeman.
Yeah,
one of those two.
That's my point. Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah.
You know, because I think Chetron's really good. I think he's, you know, I really do. You know, so it's going to be one of those two guys, and I'm curious to see how they use them, how they free them up, how do they do these types of things. I hope there's creativity. You know, I harped on that last year over and over and over and over again.
There will be. Cameron Hurd will be good.
Yeah, just a lot of you got Ford coming back as well.
Yes,
he's going to be really good. He's going to be really good. I don't think we're going to be as bad as what a lot of people think.
I think our defense, especially on the back end, is going to be really good. Then Jaleel Johnson, I think, is going to be a good rush end. I'm excited about our defense.
Yeah. You got some good guys returning.
Dwayne.
Okay. Have you watched any of the preseason NFL at all?
I don't watch NFL. The NFL bores me to no end.
Really? I like it. I'm just a football fan, period.
Yeah. I think Iman Oates is going to be a beast.
Yeah,
I think OSU's defensive line is going to be good. I don't know about the linebackers. I think the back end has a chance to be with Todd Grantham. I think they have a chance to be really freaking good.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was asking, we were talking about defense, and Nick Martin dude's playing out of his mind right now for San Francisco.
No surprise.
He's playing really, really well. I was listening to a guy, sports radio guy in San Francisco, talk a few days ago, and he was saying that he has a chance to start, which is really impressive. And then
Brennan Presley. Are you going to bet against Nick Martin?
No. Brennan Presley had 100 and something yards receiving yesterday. He had, I think it's on 6 receptions. So he's playing really well. Ollie Gordon's playing really well. I think they're going to bump him up to the number 2 in Miami, the number 2 running back, which is great. You've got a lot of guys that are playing really, really good football right now that are products of Oklahoma State, which I think is encouraging.
I totally agree. On the defensive side, you have the 3 Smiths, Dylan Smith and Cam Smith.
Is Cam stiff for Smyrna? Is he a returner?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be a cornerback. Well, who knows? I think that's also going to be kind of the fun part of it, is that I think with Todd Grantham, there's going to be some hybrid type situations too. And then you have Cale Smith as well from Midwest City, who's a really, really, really nice player. Remember the interception he had last year. So you have the 3 Smiths. You have David Kabongo. You got Jaleel Johnson, Iman Oates. You've got an NFL defensive coordinator running the range. You got a new defensive line coach. You got the young kid, Carl Vion Young, out of Carl Albert coming in at linebacker. You got a couple of transfers.
There's a transfer guy that's coming in from Colorado that played at Putnam City that's supposed to be really good.
Yeah. So I'm I'm way more excited about the defense than I am the offense because A, I have no idea what Zane Flores or Haas Haney is. B, I could not name you one offensive lineman that's going to start this year. And C, hey, I think Talon Shetron's fine. I think Gavin Freeman's going to be good. I think Dwayne Lofton is okay. But if you were to ask me right now, what about a receiving core? That's easily the worst receiving core Oklahoma State's had in 25 years. Now, it might end up being the best. I don't know.
I was about to say at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but from what I know about it right now, what's returning as a fan, which I'm a diehard fan, from just what I know about it going into this season, I would say that's like the least talented group we've had in 25 years. Now, again, they may go out and prove me completely wrong, and I certainly hope they do.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that you're going to have that feeling year in and year out from now on, just because guys are leaving left and right. You know, whether they play phenomenal.
Yeah, but who did OSU lose to a receiver to other schools?
You lost your receivers coach.
Fine, but who did you lose?
You didn't lose anybody.
I mean, what receiver were you going to get back that you lost to transfer?
You lost one. He's at West Virginia. I can't remember his name.
Well, then what does that tell you if you can't remember his name?
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He contributed. I just can't remember who it was. Are you looking at it?
If you talk about it, I'll look it up.
I don't know. He was a good receiver. I was shocked when he transferred into Big 12. He played. He might have been hurt. I think he got hurt a couple times, and maybe that's why he transferred.
Yeah. Is it Jaden Bray?
Yes. Yeah. And he's good. He was really good, but
that was 2 years ago, though, wasn't it?
He transferred this year, I thought.
Yeah, Jaden Bray.
Yeah.
And then you lost the Greens.
Oh, the brothers.
Yeah.
Well,
Jaden Bray was going to be good. 6'2". He's going to be a senior. He's out of Norman.
And honestly, it may be better for him just to get a fresh start, where he's, somewhere where he hadn't been hurt 3 times.
But he was at West Virginia last year.
He was?
Yes.
Okay.
You did not lose anybody this year that would have been a starter. This is just not recruiting very
Unless
well.
It's to the NFL. Right.
Rashad Owens and that type,
Yeah. Is Rashad Owens still playing?
I couldn't
Is he on
tell
a
you.
roster?
I can look it up. Man, I've been so heavy into baseball. You know that. Covering the Dodgers on my Dodgers Daily site. I have had almost zero time to check into the football side of things, but
I've been watching football since July 31st. That was the first NFL.
He signed with the Bengals
game.
as a UDFA, which is an undrafted free agent. So we'll see.
Hopefully he sticks. I don't know. He may make a practice squad.
He needs to bulk up and become a really athletic tight end. Is what he needs to do.
Does he have the height? How tall is he?
You think he's 6'2"? I mean, if you're athletic enough, I think you can make that work.
Yeah.
6'2"?
There's just a lot of freaking huge tight ends now.
There is, yeah.
Josh Ford is a perfect example. That dude's massive. But all in all, I think that they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be great.
OSU?
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to be. I think their defense has a chance to be good. I think they're going to be aggressive. They've
got athletic-looking guys that have experience at the Division I level.
Des Stribling went to Ole Miss. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Good call, Steven.
Well,
that's a big loss.
That one hurts. That one hurts.
Let me back up and be the residential dumbass on that one because that's a huge loss.
At least we won't really have to. I hope we don't ever have to see him unless it's in a bowl or a playoff game. But I don't know if we'll have to worry about that this year. Bowl game.
Man, we did not use Des Stribling the way that we should have. That's one. I would have wished that he would have given Doug Meacham an opportunity. Of course, he came from Washington State. He's a three school guy. But as far as the situation he was handed at OSU last year, I do not blame him whatsoever for leaving because we did not use him the way we should have.
No. I mean, and I don't feel like we used anybody the way that we should have, to be honest with you. Honestly, I wish we'd used Brennan Presley more. And
Isn't that weird to say? That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, we tried to use Ollie. Ollie didn't have anywhere to run. And then we didn't do anything with Stribling last year.
No.
He was just kind of there. You didn't use Rashad Owens enough. who came off a phenomenal year the year before. It was piss poor.
It was. That's why everybody got replaced, man. Yeah. To get replaced by Mike Gundy, it has to be pretty bad because he's pretty loyal to his coaches.
Well, and the dude wiped out his entire staff. Yeah, so something tells me that he knew whether he was going to be on the hot seat or not, whether all this Regent stuff happened. I think that there were going to be major changes at the end of the year.
Mike Gundy was not on the hot seat. That's just anybody who thinks Mike Gundy was anywhere close to getting fired.
I'm saying with all these people trying to come in and do all these different types of things.
He was so far away from the hot seat. The seats wasn't even warm. Now, if Mike Gundy won't be on even in the warm seat until he fires off like a losing season this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that no matter what would have happened last year, I think that you're going to see major changes in the coaching staff, period, because it clearly it wasn't working, and he could be the first one to tell you that. I don't think he would shy away from it.
Well, he did tell you that by his actions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying even if all this Regents crap didn't happen and all that stuff, I think that you're seeing major changes.
Yeah, no doubt. He didn't make these because somebody told him to. Anybody saying that doesn't know Mike Gundy, and they don't know how Oklahoma State athletics is ran.
Right.
Mike Gundy. Okay, so you're telling me that who knows more about what needs to be done for Oklahoma State football than Mike Gundy? Who?
No, nobody.
So who is anybody else to say this is what we need to do? It wasn't a board regent, whatever that one board regent guy's name is that we kept hearing about. It wasn't Weiberg. It wasn't any of those guys. It was Mike Gundy going, man, this sucked, and man, I got to get this shit fixed because I'm way too competitive for this. And the last thing I want is to spend all this time and then to leave with my head between my legs. That's literally what this came down to. Anybody who thinks that he was pressured into making all these decisions just has absolutely no idea how Oklahoma State's ran. None, zero. Yeah, or how Mike Gundy operates.
I don't disagree whatsoever.
And I know there's a bunch of media people out there that have no clue what they're talking about. And they want to think they're in, and they want to think that so-and-so pressured. Hey, let me explain something to you. You don't pressure Mike Gundy. Okay, Mike Gundy is as rich as he could ever be. Mike Gundy is Oklahoma State football. Mike Gundy could be making more money probably doing something else in media or whatever he wanted to do. Okay, you don't pressure Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy makes decisions based on what Mike Gundy wants to do, and that's exactly what happened. So if any other media outlet wants to think that anybody at Oklahoma State had any influence on Mike Gundy as far as pressure goes, don't listen to that outlet. That's what I would have to say.
Yeah,
because they don't have any clue what they're talking about.
I don't disagree in the slightest. I think he won't. And this misconception of he doesn't care and all this, that's not true. It's not true. The dude wants to win football games.
There have been periods of time in his career where he's been burned out, that he needed a new challenge to get him out of burnout. I will say that.
Well, maybe he was burnt out last year. I would be burnt out. I would be burnt out after only winning 2 games or 3 games or however many it was, and just going on a cold streak throughout the entire Big 12. I would get burnt out too. Because
everybody, if you've been in coaching long enough, everybody's had that season, and they're so hard to get through.
Yeah.
I mean, literally all you're doing, you're just, when is this season going to be over? Yeah. As terrible as that sounds, that's literally how that goes.
Yeah. You and
everybody's had them. If you're in coaching long enough, everybody has one.
You're speaking from perspective.
No doubt.
100%.
100%.
I know what that feeling's like, too. It's like, oh, geez, can we just
And what
finish?
You need is you need the people around you to go, hey, bro, you've been OSU football. We're good. Hey. Yeah. This is at these moments is when I have my most confidence, and it's like a baseball player when you're hitting and you're in a slump. What you need from your manager, your coach, is for him to go, "Hey, man, we're good. It's baseball. Here in about a week, you're going to button one up, or probably tomorrow or next at bat, and everything's going to be fine." Right? I have more confidence in you now than I ever do. That's what you have to do in periods like this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, and this is the honest to God truth. I wouldn't rather have anybody at the Realm right now.
Absolutely, in these situations, no doubt.
I really wouldn't, because he's the type of guy and the type of person and the type of competitor that's not going to let it happen twice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm betting on Mike Gundy.
Yeah,
that's why I would take the over on 7.5, because I'm betting on Mike Gundy. I don't know anything about our roster. You couldn't, because there's been so much turnover. there's no way anybody that's not there every day, other than Robert Allen and whoever else has access to the program, could know anything about the roster. Here's all I need to know. Mike Gundy's not going to have 2 shitty football seasons in a row. It's not going to happen.
7 games is where I'm comfortable saying. I'm not saying that they'll win less, and I'm not saying that they'll win more.
They're going to win a minimum of 8.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to go in with super high expectations. And this is how I approach a lot of things, and it's probably not how I should. But when you go in with lower expectations and they get exceeded, you tend to be a lot happier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Under-promise, over-deliver is always better than over-promise and under-deliver, no doubt. That was Josh Holliday's problem last spring, was that there was so much over-promise that he had nothing to do with. And it was based on an entirely brand-new pitching staff. It was based on JUCO transfers. It was based on a whole bunch of different things and guys not getting injured and that kind of deal. So it's always better to under-promise, because then it's a lot easier to overperform.
Yeah, well, and while we're talking about baseball, shout out Nolan McClain. Went and just
no doubt, man. How cool is that? Yeah,
shoved for the
and
Mets.
Zach Earhart just got traded to the Dodgers. He's playing actually in Tulsa right now. He's killing it.
Nice.
I saw Sam Garcia pitch against the Dodgers high A affiliate. He's actually with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, which is the Brewers. And Brian Holiday actually had TJ, so he's out for right now. So yeah, man, there's a lot of Dodgers. Nolan Schubert. He just got drafted, and so did Braden Smith, and all that. So yeah, there's a lot going on with OSU baseball right now.
McCusker keeps going up and down too.
Yeah, he was with the Twins forever. I got to see him at Tulsa quite a few times, and so yeah, Josh has got everything going except for winning a regional. I mean, that's a big
McCusker.
hump.
Is he still with the Twins, or is he with?
I've lost track. I couldn't tell you.
He's not with the. I don't think he's with the Twins. He's with the Nationals. I think.
Is he? Okay.
I think. Don't mark me on it.
Let me look it up. I have lost. Last I saw him, it says Twins, because last time I saw him, he was with Wichita, and Wichita is a AA affiliate of the Twins.
Okay, sometimes I get the Twins and
he's in St. Paul right now.
Yeah, I get the Twins and the Nationals mixed up. Sometimes they have the same colors.
Yeah. Hey man, it is 10:11. You're younger than me, but that's past my bedtime.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah. So this has been a lot of fun. We're gonna do this every Sunday night, hopefully earlier. And maybe on Saturday nights, too, after a game, especially for pissed, and we need to vent, get on here and cuss and discuss that kind of deal. Right?
We did that a lot last year.
We sure did. And out of a 59-minute show, it was 58 minutes of how much Alan Bowman sucked from Chase with Whiskey.
Yeah, right here. You one and only. It makes for good TV, so if you need some entertainment. I was
trying to deflect and defend all the Alan Bowman time.
If you need some good TV after a bad loss, tune in right here.
Chase with Whiskers. Hey, by the way, congratulations to your brother.
Thank you.
Drafted,
Thank you.
By the way, who was the first one to tell you that would happen?
That would have been Casey Porter.
How much video did I watch on him go, he's going to get drafted?
We were sitting in the Guthrie High School watching some video. We were trying to get him recruited, and you said he's going to get drafted, and I was like, I don't know. I think he'll play Division
He wasn't
I.
even getting recruited by even Division II schools at the time.
No, it's straight JUCO. Yeah. And now he's playing for the Tigers, and
that's awesome.
He'll make his first. I think he's starting. He'll start for their low A team next Saturday.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
So
that low A ball, man, that's like herding cats. Be lucky you're not a hitter, because in that low A, that's straight out of the complex. That's the lowest affiliated level. So you have the rookie ball at the complex, then you have the low A, then you have high A, then you have double A, and you have triple A. So there's 4 affiliated levels, 5 total. And in that low A, what you have is guys that throw it 400 miles an hour, and they have no freaking clue where it's going. I mean, it's like the hardest league ever. Like Rancho, the low A affiliate for the Dodgers. I mean, they have 435 walks in the year. I mean, it's hard to watch. So be thankful that he's not a hitter. That's
luckily he's the one throwing the baseball. And he typically, knock on wood, does not have a whole lot of command issues.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he spends a short amount of time in low A and finds himself in West Michigan.
They'll max his velo, and the next thing you know, he'll get wild. That'll happen to him at least once.
I hope he ends up in West Michigan by the first part of next year. That's
the Whitecaps.
Yeah.
West Michigan Whitecaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
West Michigan Whitecaps that's a Man, they put on a good show there.
Yeah, he FaceTimed me earlier and was talking to me for a while. He's very well taken care of. They're taking really good care of him, and he's in a good spot right now. He's chilling out in Lakeland, Florida. So life can't be too bad.
Complex. Yeah, because see, like that's the Midwest League, that high A league there. Like you have the Great Lakes Loons, you have the South Bend, which is the Cubs. You have West Michigan, which is the Tigers. You have Fort Wayne Tin Caps, which is the Padres. So that's that little Midwest League up there up north. And the cool thing about West Michigan is that like they're the only affiliate in that area that actually has a major league team that is close by. They have they're in Michigan, and then Detroit's close by. Like the Great Lakes Loons, they're the affiliate of the Dodgers. Fort Wayne, Indiana, they're the affiliates of the Padres, and the people in that area don't even root for those teams. Whereas West Michigan, they actually root for the Tigers.
Yeah.
So he'll have a good time when he gets up there. But we're getting off track here, Chase. Hey, any final thought? Of course, we're good at that, right?
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I'm just glad it's football season again. It'll be nice to watch them take care of UT Martin, hopefully how they should, get a little bit of a bad taste out of our mouths. And I'm a football fiend. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just glad it's football season.
Mm-hmm. Last question here. What type of offense do you want to see?
Fast, explosive.
Like
not
throw
afraid.
the ball, RPO,
just
audible, run the ball. What type? I mean, what just overall?
Anything that's different than last year. And I say that jokingly, but at the same time, I truly mean it. I want to see big plays down the field. I want to see a mobile quarterback, which I truly think that you get a little bit of that in Flores as well. I've heard he can run a little bit, not like Hoss Haney.
I think he can run it enough to throw it. He can scramble. Kind of like a Josh Fields type guy.
Yeah, I want to see an offense that keeps
maybe
the defense,
a Mason Rudolph.
That keeps
Mason
the defense off balance.
could scramble enough to get a pass off.
Yeah,
that kind of deal.
And if he can do that, that's a major step up.
Yeah.
I want to see again. I just want to see an offense that, if I'm playing defense, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And even if I do everything perfect, there's still a chance that there's a positive play. And I'm not saying 15 yards. I'm saying, 1st and 10, and we have a busted whatever blocking scheme or whatever. We still get 2 or 3. I'm okay with that. I want to see less turnovers. And like I said, just a more fun, explosive offense to watch. One that we're used to seeing.
I'll tell you what I want to see from the offense. I want to see an offense that comes out and can't run the ball, but doesn't shut down the whole damn day just because they can't run the ball. That's what I want to see. So if we can't run the ball in the first 3 or 4 series of the game, find something else that will work. And then whenever you find something else that will work, then that allows you to get back to the running game. I want to see us actually be able to complete that circuit and to be able to run that cat and mouse game instead of just not being able to run the ball and then having to hear Mike Gundy come on the post game and go, well, when we can't run the ball, this offense can't work. Not good enough. So that's really the one request I have is if you can't run the ball, can we find something else that will work instead of just giving a press conference and giving a whole bunch of excuses? I think that's number one that I want to see from the offense. And number 2 from the defense, I think it's going to be very aggressive. I think we're going to rush the quarterback. Here's my biggest concern is that we get very aggressive on 1st and 2nd down. It's 3rd and 13. And then the NFL defensive coordinator drops into cover 72, which means we're like 72 yards deep, and we give up 14 yards on 3rd down.
Yeah.
That's my biggest really worry about Todd Grantham talking about people that's watched him call is that you'll have a bunch of explosive plays on 1st and 2nd down and then rush like one guy on 3rd down, drop your secondary back 15 yards and give up an easy 1st down on 3rd and long. So I think that's my biggest concern. I hope the aggressiveness stays consistent from that perspective. Brian Bailey says, I want to see a big O-line improvement. No doubt. I think the O-line improvement can be made with better play calling too. So Chase, this has been a lot of fun. Final thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to seeing a change, it's going to be different. And that's what I'm excited for. A different offense, a different defense, a different scheme, and a different mentality from the players and the coaches.
100%, man. Hey, Chase, this is going to be every Sunday and then sometimes Saturday whenever we got something to cuss about, which hopefully that doesn't happen very often. So, hey, thanks a lot for joining, man. It's been forever since we've talked. That's been my fault because it's just been hard for me to get going on Sunday. So, hey, thanks so much for joining, and I will talk to you next Sunday.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.